I'm going to say something controversial. Healing yourself and finding a happy, healthy new relationship after you've had a divorce doesn't have to take years. That myth that you need to be single for every whatever it is, however many years you've been married, that is total BS, right? I can show you the fastest way to heal yourself so that you can truly find the relationship that you're seeking, a fulfilling, rewarding relationship that you deserve. It doesn't have to take forever. So here's the thing though. You have to understand that you need to change your patterns, or you're just going to end up all alone or repeating your patterns again. Because here's the truth. Second marriages end in a divorce rate of 67 to 70%. So you wouldn't get on an airplane if you knew that it had a 70% chance of crashing, would you? So why would you jump back into a relationship knowing that you have a 70% chance of divorcing again? Look, I know how painful divorce is. I wouldn't want that for anyone. And to go through it again is just so painful, but you can avoid that if you know the steps that you need to do to change that, to shift that within you. So many women just end up in a same relationship making the same mistakes over and over and over because they don't change who they are. They don't make the shift within them. So you're likely just to end up remarrying the same guy, right? Just in a different body. Or you'll be so scared because you don't trust yourself that you end up all alone. Or you end up in a great relationship with a great guy, but you're repeating your same communication patterns, your same toxic patterns because you don't know how to shift that. So I'm going to tell you how you can shift that, okay? So who am I? I'm Terry Vanover, and I'm a divorce strategist, and I help you come through divorce without being legally, financially, and emotionally devastated. But more importantly, I'm going to show you how to heal after divorce so that you can transition confidently into that next phase of your life and find the relationship that you so deserve. So, what's the first step in shifting this so that you find the relationship that you want? So, here's the thing. You have to really take stock and take accountability for your responsibility in the failure of your marriage. And look, I know that's hard to hear. So many people come out of toxic relationships with people who have substance abuse problems, and you say, well, it wasn't me, it was the other partner. And I get that, right? But you have to figure out where you didn't show up in that relationship. Figure out what the red flags are that you missed in this relationship, because believe me, there's something you missed. Even if it's just 5% of you that didn't show up in this relationship, or 5% of you that missed something, there's still a part of you that you need to take accountability for. And here's the great news though. Once you take accountability for that, you're no longer a victim to that person anymore, to that circumstance anymore. You can then empower yourself and shift that within you. You're no longer a victim to that 5%. And 5%, that's significant. If you can shift something within 5% or shift something 5%, just imagine your life will be on a whole new trajectory. So I want you to just take some time, reflect, figure out where it is that you didn't show up in your marriage. Maybe you were a people pleaser and you weren't really honest. There were things that you wanted to speak up about. There's things that you want to say, but you didn't. You bit your tongue. And here's what I know about people pleasing. Once you hold that in, and you don't speak up for yourself and you're not honest with yourself and you're not honest with that other person, here's what happens. Resentment builds, all that resentment builds, and you hold on to that. And here's the thing, you'll start to become passive aggressive. You'll start to act out in ways that will really destroy a relationship. You'll say, oh, no, I'm cool with that. I've got a client, and that's what she'd do. She'd say, oh, no, I'm cool, it's all good, I'm good. But deep down inside, she really wasn't cool. She really wasn't okay with this. And what she'd do is passively aggressive, act out in ways that would sabotage a relationship instead of just being honest. When she was dating a guy, she really preferred a phone call. She never told this guy, right? So he would text and text and text, and he invited her out on a date. Meanwhile, she was seething about the fact that he didn't prioritize her enough to pick up the phone, and she preferred a phone call. She never told him that. He's not a mind reader. And so when he did ask her out, she's, oh, sure, I'll show up to your party. She'd just not show up, right? She just wouldn't tell him and then not show up. And so she's sabotaging this relationship. And so I showed her how she was really the one not showing up in this relationship. He was just doing what a lot of women prefer. A lot of women prefer texting, but not her. But unless she's honest with herself and honest with him, she's going to be sabotaging every future relationship. So we can shift this, and we did shift this and show her, hey, being honest, even if it's a little bit awkward and a little bit, it's uncomfortable for her to get truthful about this and to speak her needs. She needed him to get on the phone with her. But what a shift that is, what a difference that is. And she's not holding that against him. She's not holding that resentment. And now she could truly show up in a way that not only honors her, but it honors him. So the second way that you can show up in a way and shift this belief in finding a happy, healthy relationship, and it does go back to that resentment again, is forgiveness. Now look, I know this is a loaded word. I've had my own clients blow back against me again, like I'm not forgiving. Fine, you call it letting go, you call it whatever the hell you want to call it, but I call it forgiveness work. But let me clarify what forgiveness is, right? Forgiveness is not about forgetting what the other person did to you, but what it is allowing yourself to let go of the hurt, the betrayal, the anger, the toxicity that someone else gave to you, and you're carrying it around. That's what forgiveness is. Look, I tell this story to a lot of my clients. It's an old story from a Buddhist tradition, and there's two Buddhist monks, and they're traveling through the mountains. And in the Buddhist tradition, monks are not allowed to touch women, right? So there's a younger monk and an older monk, and they come to a river, and there's an elderly lady doing her wash, and she can't get across the river. Well, lo and behold, the older monk straps the older woman onto his back, and the two monks cross the river. The older monk puts the woman down. They continue 4 more miles traveling up the mountain. Now, all this time, the younger monk is seething, fuming at the older monk. Sir, how could you? How could you do this? How could you touch that woman? And the older monk looks at the younger monk and says, son, I have put her down and let her go 4 months ago, but you are still carrying her with you. And that's what forgiveness is. It is you carrying around the toxicity, the anger, the betrayal, the bitterness, resentment, whatever it is you're carrying around. You're the one carrying that around. Forgiveness is about giving yourself the conscious permission to let that go once and for all. And I show my clients there is a step-by-step process that I give them that allows them to let that go. It's about analyzing where this came from, how to let it go, compassion, understanding. It is a template that I give my clients so that they can let that go. And it's not about absolving anyone, and it's not about letting go of your own healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries are important to this. You don't have to let that person back in. You don't have to let your boundaries down. You don't have to forget, but it's about letting go of those feelings that someone else gave to you and giving yourself the permission that you don't have to carry around this shit anymore. You can let it go. And let me tell you, when you let this go, you're going to create space for love, because holding on to anger, holding on to bitterness, holding on to that is creating distance. It's creating distance between yourself, your children, and your loved ones. And when you let that go, it is a beautiful, freeing feeling, and it lets in so much room for love and light and so much joy in your life. It's indescribable. But I have a specific way that I do it. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me and I'm going to tell you how to forgive in a way that lets in all that love and joy and light into your life. Another healing strategy that's really going to let you know that you are ready for the love of your life. It's about creating worthiness in yourself. It's about getting still with yourself and knowing that you are worthy. It's a little bit deep. I get it, right? It's like, what do you mean by feeling worthy? So much of our beliefs and our feelings about ourselves are created within our childhood, and we're not even aware of it. And I teach my clients how to get still with themselves, how to get in touch with that inner child, give that inner child what she needs, showing them that you are worthy, you are deserving of everything. You are deserving of love, compassion, acknowledgement, safety, security. That was my big thing, right? So one of the things I teach is how to really get still with yourself and get in touch with that inner child. I recently, about a year ago, had an incident happen to me where someone betrayed me, really hurt me and my children, really shook me to the core. And I really was carrying around that anger within me. And I recognized that this anger was creating distance within me and my children. And I did not want to carry that around. I really didn't, because it was creating distance, and my children were aware of it. Every kind of like sign or symbol that reminded me of this person, it would kind of like that anger would flare up. I knew that I needed to let this go. And so what I did is I got really still with myself. I recognized I needed to let go of this anger, and I went into meditation and I just expanded that anger. I went to the outer edges of this anger. Of course, I hit hurt, but I went deeper than that. I went beyond the hurt, the betrayal. And what I recognized was a feeling of powerlessness. I felt so powerless to help my children, to help my husband, to help myself. And I went even deeper and I said, where do I feel powerless? Where, as a child, does this powerlessness start? And what I recognized is that the powerlessness started when I was sexually abused when I was 7 years old. So, grown up Terry asked little 7-year-old victimized Terry, what do you need? What do you need right now to feel powerful again, to get back your power? And she said, I need a voice. I need you to say no. I need you to stand up for me. And that was it. And I recognized that little Terry needed big grown up Terry to stand up for her, to say no, to not let this person back in her life, just to give a voice, just to allow her to feel safe and secure again, to feel that she had power. And you know what? All that anger, all that bitterness, it just dissipated because I got to the root cause of what was causing that anger. And the anger wasn't about the person, it was that this person had triggered the powerlessness in me. And once I recognized that and I healed that, my life shifted. My life changed. I was able to get close to my children again and get close to my husband again and be there for him because it caused distance because I was feeling so much anger and I didn't know where it was coming from. And I wanted him to solve this, but he couldn't. So I got my power back and he got his powerful wife back again. And you can do that. Look, I've been where you've been through. I went through 2.5 years of a devastating divorce that took me to my knees. I lost my home. I lost all my financial security. I was hit by a van and my health suffered. I was struggling. I was really, really in a dark place. But I know that you can get back to where you deserve. I did the work. I know how to heal, and I teach my clients how to heal themselves after a devastating divorce. And now I'm remarried to a beautiful, generous, loving man. I just couldn't ask for anything better. He's just so loving and giving, and he just happens to be a sexy New York Italian. I just adore him. And we've grown our family. We had a baby girl, all the things that I didn't even know were possible at the time of my divorce. I co-parent with my ex-husband. His beautiful wife is one of my closest friends, and we support and are there for each other and build a wonderful family and co-parent together, the four of us. We are a foursome to be reckoned with when it comes to our children. We love and support each other. And I know if I can do it, I can teach you how to do it. It's possible. Believe me, it is possible because my divorce was ugly. It was nasty. It's $20,000 down the tube, 2.5 years, and 2 failed attorneys, 2 failed mediations. But you can get through it, and I can show you how to get to that place and build a wonderful new family after this. Because you're going to have a relationship with your ex. You just are. If you've got kids, he's going to be there. But you can change that relationship and you can make it positive. And I'm living proof that it's possible and I can show you how. So look, message me and I'm going to show you how to heal after this, how to build a wonderful new you so you can build healthy, happy relationships with your ex, your children, and your future significant other. I look forward to hearing from you. I can't wait.